Good news. I'm happy to report that after a solid day of testing, these say Blasphemy is now a legit 8-second street car once again. And I don't mean like, hey, we just got in there by the skin of our teeth. No. Off the trailer, we went 865 at a $157. We went 869 at a $157. And then 896 at only 140 when I lifted. She is back. She is one piece. She runs. Right now, we're going to show you how we did it. Let's do this. So here's the deal. A couple months ago, we went to Sick Week. We finished. We got second place. We ran one 8-second pass, and I gotta be honest, it was kind of a fluke that it even happened because pretty much every time we went to the starting line, our clutch wouldn't slip no matter what we did to it, and it blew the tires off when I let the clutch out. So in this video, we're trying to fix that. We've already mailed our clutch back out to Ram. They have gone through it. They have reset the lever heights for all 6 levers. We have put our old lighter springs back in the clutch that we ran at Drag Week when the clutch did slip, and Tony and Angel and I went 870 over and over again like a bracket car. We've done all that, and now we're just gonna service the motor, and then we're gonna head back to a drag strip to find out how good does the car work. I think it's gonna work real good. But first, let's make sure the oil looks good. Let's make sure nothing's falling out. All right. Right, here's the deal. Went to Sick Week, had a slipper clutch that wouldn't slip, came home, measured the springs that were in it, way too stiff. Went back to our old springs, and while assembling it, we rechecked all the finger heights and the clutch disc thickness, all the baseline stuff of this, and realized that the finger heights, which are these levers right here, relative to the flat surface of the hat, they were kind of all over the place, and one of them was way off, like really far off. So we ended up shipping this whole thing to Ram and having them resurface the flywheel, surface the clutch disc, reset all the finger heights, and now it's ready to go back in the car with our old springs from Drag Week 2024. And what we learned at that Drag Week is the clutch slips just fine during the starting line, but will slip down track if you don't have enough lever weight on it. So we'll put, a good amount of weight on there. But we also learned that with these springs, the yellow ones, you can't tow the trailer unless you crank the base pressure all the way up, which is this adjustment here. So for racing, we're probably gonna be around 3 turns of base pressure. For towing, we're probably gonna be around 6, which is pretty much maxed out. So we'll put 6 in it, disassemble it, put it in the car, and then at some point, hopefully the weather cooperates and a track has a track rental or a test and tune or something, because I'd like to drive the car and go a quarter mile because I have a feeling it's going to run real good.
Well, with that being said, why don't we start at 3 turns instead of 6?
Because maybe we're going to go straight to the...
yeah, we're not going to be towing a trailer.
Yeah. I'm cool with that. All right. We'll adjust this in the car because this now has to come back apart. Right, so it's been about a month and a half, maybe 2 months since we completed Sick Week 2025 in Blasphemy, and we're feeling really good about it. We didn't break anything. We broke anything major anyway. We broke a oil pressure transducer, no big deal. We're gonna autopsy the motor because tomorrow we're going testing. We've already had our clutch rebuilt by Ram, and we're just gonna check valve lash, drain the oil out of this thing, look at the oil, cut open the oil filter, make sure, we don't have any issues. We shouldn't. I mean, we just drove 1,000 miles. If this thing was going to eat itself up, it probably would have already happened. But inspecting your oil filters, just gives you some peace of mind. And then we'll throw a new Wix filter in it and fire it up out in the driveway. If everything sounds good, we will load it in the box, and tomorrow we'll go test and see how quick we can go in the quarter mile with a clutch that actually slips this time. Excited about that. All right, so if you ever wonder what 1,000 miles of racing and driving on the street without an oil filter will do to your oil, that's it right there.
Pretty dirty.
black. That's 1 week of driving, already black. I mean, granted, it's 1,000 miles in 1 week, but it is dirty. And we don't have a great way, or at least we didn't at that event. We didn't have a great way to run Blasphemy with an oil filter. We will in the future. Sorry, an air filter. We didn't have a great way to put an air filter on this thing while still being able to get the hood open and closed easily during sick week. But in the future, when we do a drag and drive, we will get that dialed in. Because there's no good reason to not run an air filter. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that it wasn't practical. And the way we're going to inspect our oil filter is we're going to cut the top of it off and then take it apart. This is an oil filter cutting tool. I think I got this one from Proform Tools probably 20 years ago. I've had it forever. And it's nothing more than a round blade, the kind of thing you'd see like in a tube cutting tool. A couple of bearings, and then just slides in and out based on whatever filter size you got. And it will cut the top of the filter off without sending any metal into the oil. And we'll dump the filter out in there and take a look at what we see there. There's our little spring right inside there. We'll let that drain for a bit. Sometimes I like to take a shop towel, not a blue one, because these, you can't even see through them, like they're really strong, but like a white one that you can see through. Sometimes I'll drain the oil through the white paper towel, let the oil go through, and then see if there's any dirt or worse yet, metal. But you can also just look in there, shine the light, look around, see if you see any flakes. I don't see any flakes. I see dust in there. You can kind of see like a slight gold metallic dust.
Road grind.
This was a brand new engine, well, rebuilt, but all brand new parts, new pistons, new bearings, and so you expect, new push rods too. So you expect some trash to be in here. What we don't want to see are big flakes and bearing material, and I'm not seeing that. I'm looking in the pleats of the filter. You should come a little closer, let the folks at home. I'm looking in the pleats of the filter for big chunks of metal, and I am not seeing it, which means this motor is not eating up the main bearings, the rod bearings, the cam bearings. No real metal to metal contact in here, which is awesome. And that's what I would expect from HED. Those guys do a killer job. I've been going to Harrell Engine and Dyno since 2019, and any of the failures we've had have been self-inflicted. Those guys really haven't screwed anything up, which I appreciate.
What
So I say
what got you introduced to Pete?
How did I meet Pete? I met Pete Harrell through Eric Yost. Everybody calls him Biggin. He owns Customs by Biggin, which is right in the same, basically, dirt parking lot as HED. And Biggin, I met him years ago at Drag Week when I was working at Hot Rod Magazine, and I interviewed him. That's how I met him. And then later on, Drag Week 2018 went right through their town, and Biggin hosted a party at his shop, and he allowed Drag Week racers to stop in and work on their cars in the parking lot, do service and whatnot. And I hung out there for a party during Drag Week, and it was wild. They shot a cannon off. There was all kinds of crazy stuff happening. I hung out there so late that at like 1 in the morning, everybody had left and the lift was open, and I said, Biggin, can you take a look at this thing? It keeps going left. And we sat there all night long and rescaled the car, readjusted the suspension, and the guys from Pack Racing Springs were there with their trailer. We dynoed the shocks on my car to figure out what one turn of a knob did, which did nothing. And so Biggin scaled the car, aligned the car, readjusted all the shocks, and we changed the rear springs and put softer ones in. And the car the next day went 0.4 of a second quicker. And we ran in 9 flat the very next day. And at that point I went, this area right here, these guys can build cars, can tune cars. I can learn a lot from these dudes. So I just started hanging out there. And so I've had my rear end narrowed at that shop. I've learned a lot. And consequently, when the engine builder that was working on Blasphemy's Hemi before, like the thing broke like 4 events in a row. Like I kept paying over and over and over again. And I was so busy filming the TV shows that I couldn't even take the motor apart. There wasn't even time for it. So I was talking to Biggin about it, and he's like, go see Pete. And so gave the motor to Pete. Pete rebuilt it. I got it the night before Drag Week 2019. And we went out there the very next day, got registered, got teched, went an 875 the very next day, quicker than the car's ever gone. I was like, holy crap. And on day 1 of Drag Week 2019, after Pete tweaked the tune, it went 852 at 161, almost 162 miles an hour, and set the class record. And at that point, I was like, Pete's the guy, you know? And that motor went the whole event without breaking. It went 2019, it went into 2020. We won a grudge race with that motor against John Chase. We won a grudge race at an Intertrade National event against Jared Scott. I took my kids to school. We did a lot with that motor. And really, we didn't, like I said, the breakdowns after that were just self-inflicted. But hopefully we're wiser now, we're smarter, and we're not self-inflicting breakdowns anymore. I don't know, we'll see.
Don't give yourself that much credit.
I mean, it's 2025, new year, new me, bro, come on. And so anyway, the oil looks good. We're gonna check the valve lash, change everything, go out and fire it up, put it in the box, and tomorrow we're going to quarter-mile drag strip to see how fast this car actually goes, because this latest incarnation of the engine, the cam is different, the valve train is different. I think it's making more power. We just didn't find that out during SIG week because our clutch wouldn't slip, and so we couldn't get the car off the line. I think this thing's gonna haul butt tomorrow, so I'm excited. Good news, motor looks great. Oil a little filthy, but that's to be expected. We weren't driving around with an air filter, but I checked the valve lash, that all looked fine. Everything seems happy with the Hemi. So right now we're gonna move the vet cart, load this in the box, and then go test at the drag strip. I don't think you could get a better day to go testing than what we have right here, right now at Alabama International Dragway in beautiful Steele, Alabama. It is 60 degrees out. The sun is shining. The track is sticky. The American flag is waving right there. And we have a clutch that's probably gonna slip this time, and a car that I believe is gonna work. I think we're finally gonna see the true potential of Blasphemy and all the changes we've made to it over the years right here, right now. So we're gonna fire it up, check the oil level, and then go right in there and start testing. Did you already fuel it?
Oh, after that, no, I didn't.
So it carried the nose in first gear, totally controlled. Second gear, it drifted to the right. I didn't lift, I just kept going. It felt fine, man. That was badass. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk to Joe to see what we ran. Oh my God, that was fun. I love driving this car. Like on the big end, I was like, this is a little sketchy. Just a little bit. Not enough to make me stop, but it was a little sketchy. Hey Siri, call Joe Cole.
865, 157, dude.
Yeah!
Off the trailer. Dude! And you know what? I saw it drive to the right, but I think that's an air pressure issue.
It did go to the right.
Yeah, it's an air pressure issue, don't worry.
That's the quickest pass we've made in 4 years. 860.
Yeah, 865, dude.
With less
granny
boost.
shifting.
Dude, with less boost than we ran at drag week. We just went 865.
Yeah. Money.
Dude.
We can fix that going to the right with air pressure.
Yeah. Let the track guy know I'm sorry, but my parachute clipped a trash can at the end of the return road when I turned off the track. I'll go set it back up.
Okay. Yeah, buddy.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Felt a little sketchy, but I was like, I'm not lifting. It's going fast.
No.
And the whole shot was awesome. Did it wheelie?
Not really. I mean, it left really good.
Yeah.
It went right.
It came up, but I was like, it doesn't feel like it's wheeling, so I didn't lift, but it went right. I probably overcorrected. Every gear felt great. I don't think the clutch slipped more than
motored.
It needed
It sounded
to.
good.
Dude.
Our 60 foot was a little, here, I'll give you a time slip.
This is wild. I need you guys to understand what's happening here. In 2019, the first year I got with Pete Harrell at HED and had him go through the Hemi, we went 852 at 161, almost 162 miles an hour at drag week, set the class record, and won the event. That same year, we went to Vegas, grudge raced Jared Scott, and ran a bunch of 860 passes. Since that time, this car has not been in the 860s, hasn't been close to an 860. And at Sick Week 2 months ago, it wouldn't even get down the track because the clutch wouldn't slip. Now we've got a clutch that's slipping, and this thing just went 865 off the trailer with a whole lot of room for improvement. Like, it went hard right because the tire pressure wasn't set right. The tires spun because the clutch was just a little too stiff. And according to the data, I'm lifting in high gear. Not a lot, like not completely off the throttle, but it says I'm lifting. I don't quite believe that. So we put a camera in there to point at my right foot to see, am I lifting in fourth gear? Because the car has developed this driveline shake in high gear that I noticed at drag week, I noticed it at Sick Week, and it is there. You can see it in the data. But am I getting sketched out and lifting in high gear? I don't think so, but you know, the camera won't lie. If I'm doing it, it's happening. But I think with the changes we just made, tire pressure, clutch adjustment, and maybe me keeping my foot to the floor, this thing may go a 50, which it hasn't done. Geez, well, it's only done it once ever. So fired up. We're gonna pack the chute, put the front end on, and we're going again right now.
That was odd.
Yeah. Gonna grab my laptop and glasses.
Yep.
sticky is it? Do we need to go in the right lane? Take the rebound back out of it, put the tires at 11, we'll try it once more. Yo.
869 at 157.
All right, cool.
It left a little better. It still looks like it's spinning the tire pretty hard.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we need to take more bass out of it, and it doesn't like the low tire pressure.
It's shaking?
It's walking all over the racetrack.
Yeah.
But I think the shock adjustment is really what helped, and then we need to take some more bass out of it.
Okay.
All right, see you.
Okay, bye.
You know, during and after Drag Week 2024, Tony Angelo and I were pretty confident that we were slipper clutch guys and we knew what we were doing. But as I'm discovering, when you're not street driving and trailering a slipper clutch, they act wildly different. Our first pass, we had 2 turns of base pressure, spun a little bit, went down the track, 861. We took half a turn of base pressure out of it and it blew the tires off. And it blew tires off, and it blew the tires off. We lowered the launch RPM, adjusted the shocks, and it finally went down. We did an 869, but it wasn't, you know, spectacular. Our 60 foots are 133, 134 so far. We just took a full turn of base out of this, and we loosened up the front end to try to transfer some weight on the back. So it's either gonna slip or it's gonna wheelie. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore, but I do know she's a legit 860 car again, which is badass. So no matter what happens, I leave here a happy man.
I feel good about this.
I do too. This will be the least amount of base pressure we've run in this car
with this spring setup.
With this spring setup. Because at Sick Week, we had 0 turns of base pressure with the really stiff springs in the clutch, and all it did was blow the tires off.
Yeah.
We're not blowing the tires off every pass now, but we have done it several times. I don't know, maybe as we get more heat in the clutch or we use it more, it's getting more bite, but we're also not trailering it after this and, you know, driving 300 miles in one day. Clearly that does affect these clutches. But this is why we're testing, to figure out what is it like and what do we have to do to be competitive at a drag and drive, you know? Today we're figuring out what does it take to run 860s at the track. After that, we got to figure out how do you do that and tow a trailer and, you know, drive down the street and then go to another track the next day and still run 860s. That's the rub.
We gave her a bit of bass back in it when we hit the highway with the trailer.
Well, as I found out recently, we were putting 5 3/4 turns of base. I just found out you can put 6 1/2 turns in this thing and it won't fall apart. So we'll start doing that, you know?
Yeah, put it all in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Give it all the clutch.
All the clutch.
Okay.
Just a little bit, different spot on the track. man. That was fun. It was very fun. Once it got out past the tree, it tried to wheelie. Oh, that was our worst 60 foot yet. That was a 136. Pretty sure I felt the clutch slip that time, and on the gear change, it tried to wheelie, or it tried to wheelie right before the gear change, and then I hit the rev limiter because it was a crap pass anyway. Let's plug in and see. In my mind, I thought about only taking a half a turn out. I thought a full turn taking out of base might have been too much, and I thought for a second maybe we should do a half. But then I was like, whatever, we'll do a full turn. And I think a full turn was too much. I think it slipped out of the hole.
Yeah.
I don't know. The computer will tell us. It's been a pretty darn good day, and the sun's going down. We just made a hit where we slipped the clutch more than we have in a long time out of the hole, and it felt very smooth, but the car went left and I aborted the run. We don't want the clutch to slip as much, so we're going to raise the launch RPM 400 RPM. At a higher RPM, it should apply more clamping load, and maybe it will be quicker out of the hole. The going left thing, I don't know what that was all about. Hopefully it doesn't do it this time, because I'd like to make one more 860 pass today. You know,
yeah.
A to B all the way. I will feel great putting this car away and putting it back in street mode if we can go 3 860s in one day. We haven't done that in 4 years. Yeah, so let's go do that. Ready, Joe?
Ready.
All right. Yeah, I guess. Let me get laptop, eyeglasses, and cell phone. Hey, Joe. I lowered the launch RPM 200.
Okay.
If that doesn't do it, put the rebound back in the shocks.
Put a little more launch in it this time. Some more rebound in the front end. See if we can calm it down. And we're going to get after it right now. Well, that was crappy, but it still went an 8.
In the 8th.
Huh?
That wasn't an 8-second pass, was it?
Yeah, it went 896, dude.
Oh my God, I thought I got out of it way before that.
No, it went 896.
Oh, Jesus.
140.
God, the 60 foot was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
It's interesting. Everything we're doing is making this thing worse. And I need to go back and look at all the notes because basically with our quickest pass with 9 pounds of air in the right tire and 13 in the left.
The other. You want me to go back to that?
I mean, it didn't go straight. But the other thing right now is like the reason I got out of it was because it's just such a handful to drive. Like I really want to limit the front end travel because the bump steer on gear changes is so violent that the car is just out of control. And maybe I just didn't notice it before. I don't know. But
I mean, we could go back to setting the front shocks at 8 on the rebound and then limit it with the limiters.
Yeah.
Because right now we're just trying to slow the front end down to try and keep it from coming all the way up.
Yeah.
If we just let it come up and grab the limiters.
Is there time to put limiters in? Go one more time?
I don't know. It's getting dark right now. The track's also getting cold. It's pretty cold out here.
Okay.
But we'll see how these guys do. Then again,
they don't even apply to us.
No,
they're in another lane.
There's so much glue on the track. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to plug in and go. All right. So it went a 134 60 foot with 2 base turns in it, and we have 1 base turn in it, and it's slipping more. We put the RPM up 400, and it blew the tires off. We lowered the RPM 250, and it didn't blow the tires off, I don't think. Maybe it did. I don't know. The 60 foot was horrible.
What was it, 60 foot?
145.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
it still went 5.
First one this morning was...
That's weird. It's making horsepower. It still went 126 and change, almost 127 to the 8th, with the worst 60 foot I've had in a year.
What was the 8th mile time?
It went a 578.
It's 2/10 off of this morning.
Yeah. But the mile an hour is real similar to this morning.
Yeah.
That's the wild part.
It's making power on the big end.
Can I get...
It's making a lot of power.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, even though we've had troubles today, you do realize every pass we've made, full pass, was an 8-second pass today.
Yeah, it was.
Every pass was 8 seconds.
Yo.
And you just went 896 lifting at 140 miles an hour.
Yeah. If we can make it go straight, it can run an 8 at any drag strip, I think. I don't think we're there. I think we're another test session or 2 away from going, yes, this is an 8-second car at any drag strip, anywhere, anytime. We've proven it'll go deep into the apes, but then we've proven we can blow the tires right off this thing.
The
3
very
times.
Next pass.
The very next pass. We took clutch out of it after the first pass, and it blew the tires off, which I don't understand.
It's got to be something funky in the launch control. It's got to be.
I am questioning that. Like, there are things here. Like, there is a delay between when I let the clutch out and when the launch profile ends or begins, and there's a random spike of timing here where it jumps from 11 to 23 when I let the clutch out. There's all these little things I have questions about, and maybe that's a phantom spike. Maybe that's not happening. Maybe that's not long enough to actually do anything. I don't know, because it did it on almost every pass. So if it's always there and it leaves the line fine one pass but not the next, is it really hurting anything? I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't think it's in the clutch. I mean, the clutch is mechanical.
No, this is electronic.
Yeah.
This is on the launch profile, on the 2-step, we're at 11 degrees. And the moment I let the clutch out for a brief second, it goes 23, nope, 11. And is that what I'm experiencing? Is that why it's blowing the tires? I don't know.
It very well could be.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, because it's doing it instantly.
And the other wild part is right now, like, these last few passes, the clutch is locking up instantly. Like, instantly. I let the clutch out, and then it goes whoop, just like that. And so we don't want that.
Does that correspond with the spike?
No, it's after it.
It's after it?
Yeah. No, what it corresponds to, though, is check this out. So let me turn some of this stuff off. You guys don't care about boost. We'll turn off the timing even. So if you look here, you don't have to show me, you can just show this part. So this is engine RPM. This is input shaft on the trans, drive shaft RPM. So we're on the 2-step right here, right? Mm-hmm. I let the clutch out, engine RPM comes up. This is the clutch immediately locking up and matching the engine RPM. We're only slipping from here to here. Okay, so this is a 3,950 RPM launch. Now watch this. This one here is a 3,800 RPM launch. I should have overlaid these, but whatever. We'll be cavemen. Let out the clutch.
Clutch slipping.
And it's slipping. Here's your engine RPM. Here's your clutch. It takes all the way out here, which is a full second before the clutch locks up. This is a 134 60 foot. The other one was a 145. So this is slipping. And seat of the pants, I was like, it's slipping more than I want it to. So we raised this line 400 RPM, went up there, and it locked up immediately and blew the tires off.
That's odd.
That's a pretty narrow window, 400 RPM.
That was a strange day of testing.
Although, you know, it was good. I mean, Blasphemy is deep into the 8s now. No real disappointments other than the car's a little unpredictable. And I think part of that was us. We made changes every pass, and probably after it went 865 the very first time off the trailer, I wish we had not left it alone, because clearly it went right back up there and blew the tires off. But I wish I would have taken a little more time to stare at the data and the video, because when I got home, I was puzzled, obviously. And I got home, looked at the data, thought a few things. In particular, I looked at the data and I saw my engine RPM in 4th gear going up and down, up and down, up and down. And I thought, God, that's weird, you know? And then I looked at my drive shaft data and it looked like the tires were spinning. And what I thought was an ill handling condition with the front suspension and all the travel we had was actually bumps in the track. Because then I got up the video and looked at that on a big screen, and I watched the front suspension because we had a camera on it. And in the big end of the track, there's bumps in the left-hand lane, and it looked like I was running across whoops at a supercross track. And I was like, oh, all right, that's what's going on. I even took it a step further. I texted a couple of people just to say, hey, left lane at Alabama, is it rough? And they're like, yeah, we don't even run a quarter mile there. And when we shut down from an 1/8 mile pass at 200, we run over those bumps and we can tell. And I said, okay. So, you know, in hindsight, we probably didn't have as many problems as I actually thought we were having. And we probably didn't need to make as many changes as we were making. So what I'd like to do next time out is put the front suspension back the way it was. I would like to try the front travel limiters we made. We haven't tried those really yet. But just leave the car alone and see what it does. Because I think, you know, without a lot of work, it's a solid 870 car every pass, pretty much anywhere. Which is great. I mean, it hasn't been that in 5 or 6 years, so I'll be happy with that. And with a little work and a little tweaking and you know, a little effort on our part, I don't see why it couldn't run 50s in ideal conditions. So, but the great news is it still runs. Like, I don't know if you're keeping score at home, but we have now gone to sick week and a test session and another test session. Car still runs, which is really all I care about. So anyway, thanks for watching. Good luck. I'll see you next time on Finnegan's Garage.